Hello and welcome to Main Street Matters by Heart on Main Street, the podcast that doesn't need a mirror on the wall to tell you that you are the fairest of them all. I am your host, Patrick Keiser. In some retail stores, there is one area where customers spend 1/4 to 30% of their entire shopping time. While customers are in this area of the store, they're in complete buying mode, truly thinking of very little besides whether or not they like the items well enough to purchase them. And if I were to tell you that this one area of the store that, if well maintained and attended to, could increase a customer's spending habits 100%, meaning they will buy twice as much, you'd say that this is, of course, an area where a retailer spends a large amount of their time and money perfecting, right? It is, in fact, the opposite. Retailers spend so much time, energy, and effort on the aesthetics of the store, how products are displayed and merchandised, and the feeling and vibe of the store, yet they will consistently neglect an area that brings all of that hard work to the customer in real and tangible ways. In our 8th episode exploring the key takeaways from the book Why We Buy, which if you haven't bought already and you've been listening to this series, I hope you do buy it. We're going to be examining Why We Buy's views on dressing rooms and how they can increase retail sales. So adjust your mirrors, turn on your lights, and make everything look sublime because it's book club time. I want you to picture the last dressing room that you went into. You've just spent time out on the floor picking out clothes, using your sense of sight to decide on the pattern or colors that you like, and then touching the product to gauge how the material might feel on your skin, of course. And have found a handful of items that you think you might want to take home with you. You have decided on potential items, they're in your hands, and you're going to go try them on. If all goes well, these items are yours. This is the very last hurdle before you decide to take them to the cash register and bring them home. So what does that dressing room look like? Can you even call it a room, or is it more like a stall that's been hastily added to the back of the shop? How does it make you feel? Is there good lighting in there, or is it just the same fluorescent bulbs that are used throughout the store? Is there a mirror in your stall, or do you have to walk out in front of other people, unsure whether this piece looks flattering on you, just to get a glimpse of yourself? Where do you put your clothes or other selections while trying on the potential new ones? Are they on cheap hooks or the floor? Does anyone come to check on you or suggest a new pair of shoes that would go really well with that dress? Does anyone know that you're even there? All of these things, according to Paco Underhill, are areas where a retail store can make or break a sale, and that's practically a done deal. So let's take a look at these elements and how retailers can improve upon them to make sure they don't lose a sale. First is the dressing room itself. Paco Underhill says that retailers often design dressing rooms with all the romance and glamour of a changing stall at a public pool. But in a retail store, these aren't just areas for someone to get changed in, they're selling tools. They are windows, displays, and advertising all pulled together. The shopper is going to spend about 25 to 30% of their time in the store in these dressing rooms. The customer is captive in a small space with nothing on their mind except the desire to buy. The dressing room should be a place of comfort and relaxation, not an area where you want to get in and out as soon as possible. Underhill even recommends a space for a small anteroom outside of the dressing room with a couch or a chair so that the shopper can actually see what it feels like to sit down while wearing the garment, which is especially important for a special dinner or event that they might be buying this for. This anteroom serves a secondary purpose as well. It gives the shopper's friend or partner a place to sit rather than lurking outside the room. And it allows the shopper to show off the new outfit in a more private setting than in front of everybody else that might be in the store. Another recommendation to make the space feel more welcoming is the addition of fresh flowers. This extra touch shows that people actually care about this space, that has been paid attention to, and that it is important to make you feel comfortable while you're there. Remember, if someone is not comfortable, they are not going to buy. And the placement of the dressing rooms should not be buried in the back. The further away from clothes, the fewer people are going to use them. If the dressing room is steps away from the merchandise, it will be used frequently and it'll be a great selling tool. The spaces should be either painfully obvious where they are or have signs clearly marking the dressing rooms. The determined shopper is always going to be able to find them, but others may wander aimlessly until they finally give up, and when someone gives up, that sale might be lost. Now, why doesn't every retailer have a large, luxurious dressing room space? The most obvious answer is space. Many independent retailers are working with small footprints, and the ability to use any bit of floor space for a dressing room is a luxury. Or maybe they don't want to spend too much of their budget on a space that some customers won't even use. So maybe the anteroom is a little bit ambitious for most. But this doesn't mean that other elements can't be incorporated to take the space from bare-bones stall to an experience for the shopper. I've seen retailers do wonderful things with dressing rooms and make them brightly colored or add faux greenery boxwood walls to add style and flair to the space. A well-done dressing room, even in a limited space, can sell more products and pay for itself. The next important element in a dressing room is lighting. The lighting in a dressing room should not be the same thing that the store has. The fluorescent lights add a yellowish tint to everything and are jarring and unflattering. Here is a chance to be able to show the clothes in, quite literally, the best light. Lighting in the dressing room should make everybody and every body look like $1,000,000. Lighting can transform the way that people and clothing look. Color, shadows, and the overall illumination can alter the appearance of garments. The comfort and mood of dressing room lighting can also affect consumers directly. Overhead lighting is ineffective. It creates shadows on the face and the body which highlight people's flaws. Instead, opt for linear LED fixtures mounted beside the mirrors. These type of lights will highlight the face and reduce unwanted shadows. These lights will also allow for different illumination settings so the shopper can see what they would look like in daylight, fluorescent light, or even candlelight. Retailers want to provide sufficient illumination to make the dressing room space comfortable and flattering for the shopper. Mirrors are another important element of the retail space as a whole, but especially in the dressing room. Underhill says that retailers often do not have enough mirrors in their store. If there is a product that people are going to look at and want to gauge how it looks on them, there needs to be a mirror at hand. Whether it's clothes, sunglasses, shoes, or a hat, there is a natural inclination for someone to pick them up, mime putting them on, and then immediately want to see how it looks on them. This is the precursor to even taking it into the dressing room. If the shopper has to look too hard to find a mirror, they may decide that it's not worth it. Once in the dressing room, the mirror is paramount to the experience, as is the quality of the mirror. Trying on new clothes puts people in a vulnerable state. Chances are that the garment in your hands was not meant for your exact body. So while trying it on, you don't know how it's going to fit, where it might be too tight, too loose, or where some skin might be playing peekaboo. Having a private mirror in the room with you provides the ability to instantly assess whether or not you feel comfortable in the clothes. Many retailers, however, opt to have a mirror outside the dressing room, thus forcing a person to appraise the fit on their body at the same time as every other person in the store. This can turn into a very uncomfortable situation in a hurry. The mirrors themselves should be large, plentiful, and first-rate. The shoppers should feel as though they are looking at a portrait of themselves, not attending a funhouse. I previously mentioned the lighting alongside the mirror, but with today's technology, there is so much that retailers can do with mirrors in addition to just showing a reflection, albeit for a cost. Mirrors can now be dynamic. They can let you scroll through different options to try on a different size or color of the outfit that you're currently wearing to see if they like that more, and they can find out if it's currently in stock. The mirrors can suggest accessories and can let you know how they go with the clothes. A mirror can be so much more than your reflection. It can be the best-selling tool that your store has. And while the technology is still young and expensive, there are ways to upgrade the visual experience to be so much more than just a reflection. However, since they are very expensive and the technology is still growing, a good salesperson can supplement many of the features of a smart mirror. A well-attuned sales associate should be knowledgeable of the clothing and how it might fit on a person's body. They should be ready for the customer to ask for a different size or be able to make recommendations on accessories to go with the selected items. In the dressing room, the customer is in buying mode. If they've decided that they want these items, a salesperson can supplement or even influence their decision-making by offering suggestions that will round out the purchase, because oftentimes it's the accessory that sells the garment. By the time the shopper gets to the dressing room, they have mentally committed to buying something. That's why it's so surprising that so many purchases fall apart at the proverbial goal line. If done correctly, the dressing room is an opportunity for retailers to create an experience for their customers that will lead to more sales and more add-on purchases. If done poorly, sales will literally get left on the floor. Over the next few weeks, I want you to take a look at your dressing rooms. If you sell apparel, I hope you have them, but where are they located? Are they well attended to, or are they just places for people to change clothes? Think about some of the small changes that you can make to create an experience for shoppers that will create more sales. I can't wait to hear what you see in your stores. Until next time, stay safe, shop local, and keep your heart on Main Street. This episode is written, produced, researched, and edited by me, with a very special thanks to Paco Underhill and his book, Why We Buy, available in stores now. To contact us, you can email contact@heartonmainstreet.org, or to find out more information about our organization, you can visit www.heartonmainstreet.org. Thanks. Bye.